Well, hello, my students. It's good to be back with all of you. I haven't seen you for the gosh, it feels like a whole week, but I'll be seeing you Wednesday. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Just to let you know briefly that my wife did deliver a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Alita Marie Jacobson, and it's great to have that addition to my household. So I'm really excited to have her, and also I'm really excited to now get back to the classroom and to be with all you guys as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the dynasties that come out of the Islamic State. We have the Umayyads. We're going to talk about the Berbers and the Abbasids, and this will be the final installment. And a test will ensue on Monday, a week from today. And don't worry, we'll get you out a study guide, and we're going to get you, we'll have Jeopardy, and we'll have all the things we had the last test that hopefully was able to help you to be more successful on the test from last time, and we'll repeat that for this time. So let us begin. So the Umayyad, here we go, there we go. So we talked about Muawiyah. Muawiyah was the person who was fighting Ali, and he got this clever idea to put the Quran on the tips of his soldier spears, and the soldiers of Ali they wouldn't fight because they understood what they were trying to say, in that Muslims aren't supposed to fight each other. So Muawiyah's who, according as the story goes, he was this close to defeat and probably death by the armies of Ali. He survives, and that's significant because Ali was assassinated while praying in a mosque in Kufa, and that ended the end of Ali and also the Rashidun. So Muawiyah is going to now become the next ruler, and he's going to start the Umayyad dynasty. Okay, and this is when Islam officially is divided into two main sects today, known as the Sunni and the Shia, which you've heard a lot about. So Muawiyah, he moves from Kufa, which is where Ali moved the capital, and he moves it to Damascus in Syria. So he moves the empire further into towards the west in the Middle East. And this is the Muawiyad Empire, as you can see. You can see the area which Muhammad and the cohort conquered, and we have the Rashidun and what they conquered. And then, as you see here, the Umayyads under Muawiyah and his progenitors, they're going to conquer further into Africa and into Spain here, and they're also going to conquer further into Persia as well. Now, Muawiyah appointed many Christian ministers administrators to oversee the conquered provinces, and this served well because if you appoint Christian administrators to oversee things, then it sounds like he's a little more partial to other people's religions, and he's not just saying, well, if you're not of a Muslim, then we're going to look down on you, and so on. So he was very inclusive in that respect, and people respected him for that, and he allowed them to have their religion and to practice it freely, despite being in the Islamic Empire. They could still maintain their religiosity. And then Muawiyah died in May 6, 680. He was succeeded by his son Yazid I. So the Sunnis. We've talked a lot about Sunnis. I'm just going to briefly mention a few things, and you can see the notes down here as well that have been written out for you. As you know, the Sunnis make about 80% of all Muslims today. And the Sunnis believe that Muhammad wanted the community, meaning the Islamic community, to choose a leader and that's why Muhammad never chose an individual to succeed him. That he intended that the community, the people, would choose somebody, and that's how he wanted to happen. Now the Shia, they don't believe that. But that's why the Sunnis believe that Abu Bakr was the first, because he was chosen by consent of most of the people who were of the Islamic State at that time, according to the tradition. Now the Shia, we've also talked a lot about the Shia, so I'm going to just mention a few things and you can read all the other notes that have been taken for you. So the Shia believe that the first true Imam, which is like religious leader, okay, is Ali. And they do not acknowledge the three other caliphs as religious leaders. So they thought that finally after Uthman died, that when Ali became the next leader, that was when they finally got it right, and he should have been leader all along. Now the Shia oppose Muawiyah because, again, they don't approve of his leadership. They supported Hassan ibn Ali, who was Ali's son, Hassan, and Fatima's son, considering him to be the second Imam. Again, Imam is the religious leader. So Ali's descendants by Fatima are known as Sharifs, which means nobles, and Sayyids or Sayyids, meaning Lord or Sir. So if you're of the lineage of Ali and Fatima, then in Islam you're kind of like royalty or nobility, if you will, just for that lineage itself. Okay. So a separate Islamic community formed in Iraq called the Shia Ali, or the partisans of Ali. The Shia Ali had 11 successive imams. So I want to make this clear to you. So they believe that from Ali dying, there were 11 successive imams. And I believe, well, Ali was the first, so there was 10 successive imams. However, the Qatiya Shia, meaning those who are certain, believe that there was a secret son who remained in hiding. So history and records record that there were 11 imams, and then the 11th imam, which is the descendant of Ali, for some reason history shows that they don't have a son to kind of pass on to become the next imam. However, there's a tradition out there saying that there was a secret son, and he went into hiding, maybe because they were going to assassinate, I don't know really, but all these conspiracy theories come up. So this group, the Qatiya Shia, they believe that there was a 12th imam, and they call themselves the Twelvers or the Imami Shia. Now the Imami make up the majority of Shiites today, and this is something that the Shia believe in, the 12th imam, meaning that there will be a 12th imam from the lineage of Ali who will one day rule the caliphate once again, meaning this individual will be in charge once again over all of the Islamic State. And so and that's a very prominent belief in the Shia today. So here, I think I've showed this to you before and showed it again. The light green is all the Sunni areas. As you can see, all this is Sunni, 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 and then the Shia are just in this little area right here. So that's why the Sunnis are 8% of the religion of Islam, and the Shia are about 20%. Okay, now under the Umayyad dynasty, non-Muslims were forced to pay a protection tax called the jizya to the government. Now the tax brought revenue to the government. Eventually most people in the Islamic State converted. Non-Arab Muslims became a majority in Persia, and most converts became Sunni. So under the Umayyad dynasty, they had a tax where if you weren't Muslim, then you had to pay a tax. So if you're a Christian, Judaism, if you're Zoroastrianism, whatever, that you had to pay a tax, because then you were being protected by Muslim soldiers, and that would go to give money to the government to also support the soldiers who were fighting to protect the empire. We have here the African conquest. As you can see, there's lots of gains in this area over here, including in Spain as well. So Malik made Arabic the official language of the Islamic Empire. Malik comes after Muawiyah as a ruler, and he established a common currency throughout the empire. Mosques were built in each newly conquered territory. So Malik is now going to make the official language of the whole Islamic Empire, which is all of this, this color, this color, this color, all that, he's going to make the official language Arabic, meaning that everyone, all the government notes and everything is going to be all in that language. Okay, and then there was a second Fitna, and this also caused the power to be reduced by the Umayyads. They lost a lot of power here in the civil war, and eventually led to their downfall. And then I want to talk about, we're not going to talk about this, we're going to talk about the Abbasids. So, under the Abbasids overthrew the Umayyad dynasty. So remember, the Umayyad dynasty had a second Fitna, and and that really weakened them. And then the Abbasids came in. Now the Abbasids took over, and then they moved the capital from Damascus to Baghdad, and they made Persian the second language of the empire. So Arabic is still the first, and now Persian's the second. Baghdad became the cultural and administrative center of the Islamic world. Traders from as far as northern Europe and all of Africa came to Baghdad. So Baghdad is basically like what Constantinople was back in the Roman Empire when we were talking about the downfall of Rome. Baghdad is going to become that huge cultural center where everyone's going to flow into because of the position of where it's at in the world. Baghdad grew wealthy from trade. The Abbasid rulers spent their wealth on art and recreation. Okay, very popular sports were horse racing, polo, and falconry. Okay, in 751, the Abbasids captured Chinese bookmakers. So you're a Chinese bookmaker, you got some Abbasids who've conquered and have captured you, and now they're making these people show them how to make paper. So in the 8th century, the Caliph al-Mansur founded a school named the House of Wisdom. At the school, classical Greek philosophy, science, and literature were translated and written into Arabic. So they took all the works of the world that were popular, from Greek to Roman to anything, even Chinese, and they would take these works and these literatures and they would translate them into Arabic so that they can be taught through the whole empire. These books were sent all over. Now we have two famous Muslim doctors of the Abbasid period. We have Al-Razi, or Al-Raziz. I stick with Al-Razi, and Ibn Sina. Now Razi's is remembered for his identification of measles and smallpox. And I remember back in that time, that was a very big problem, was plagues, especially smallpox, and so he was able to identify what they were. Okay, he wrote 184 books on medicine. So we have great volumes of books being written on medicine. And we have Avicenna recorded medical knowledge of the time in a book called the Canon of Medicine. And the book's name became the standard medical text in Europe for over 700 years. So we have some pretty amazing things going on in the Abbasid Empire. We have a lot of culture being spread from the translating of other cultures and works like Greek and translating the Arabic. We have medical records from other civilizations also being translated into Arabic and then also built upon and improved upon, and so on. So we have the Abbasid Empire kind of increases the cultural strength of the Islamic Empire, whereas the Umayyad Empire increased more or less the geographical. It spread more of it conquered more lands so that the empire was bigger and broader. But it was the Abbasid Empire that now gives the culture and gives it some refinement, where we're not just a culture of warriors, we also are a culture of sophistication and sophistry. And that's going to do it. So this will be it. We're going to have a test on Monday. And again, I'll get you all the things you need for that, including the study guide, and we'll have a Jeopardy, and it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll move into the exciting world of Western African civilization. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.